This is eCoffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, Coffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay here. And today we have Jeremie Durand, who is the co-founder at Beanstalk Growth Marketing with us. Hey, Jeremie, how's it going?
Hello, Ranmay. Thanks for having me here. Things are going pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, been a busy week so far, but can't really complain with the moolah coming in, right?
Busy's
So
good,
yeah,
but it can be a double-edged sword sometimes.
absolutely. And in agency life, you hardly do not have a boring day, right? Do you?
No, there's always stuff to do, and there's never enough hours in a day, that's for sure.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, Jeremy. So let's do this. You have been, in the digital marketing space for quite some time now, but our audience would love to know how it all started. Talk us through your journey a bit. How did you land up in the digital marketing space, and also a bit about your agency? What do you guys do? What are your core offerings at Beanstalk Growth? And we'll take it off from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe I'll start with just what the agency is, and then I can get into how I kind of got here. So Beanstalk, we consider a growth agency. Our core purpose is to grow businesses. So what that really means is we offer full service marketing, advertising, and business development. So that's all the way from website design and development, advertising, online, offline, SEO, creative content, social media, and all the different things that a business might need to grow, get revenue, more sales, increase reach, exposure, visibility, whatever their goals are. We offer their services to be able to satisfy them. Now, how I personally got here, so I've kind of been in the tech marketing space since I was young. My actual kind of schooling and education is in direct project management, but on the side, I've always been someone who's been dabbling in website design and marketing myself. And as I got older throughout the years, I found myself having more people asking me to help them with their websites, with their ads, with stuff like that in order to help their businesses grow. And that just naturally progressed, year over year over year, where I was taking on more projects and just getting myself deeper and deeper and deeper into that world until eventually it just became the next right thing to move was to make it into an actual agency, hire a team, and grow from there. That's kind of how I got into the agency world myself.
Lovely. And, you run a remote setup like we were speaking about it in the green room. What are the challenges of running a remote setup? And also, on the other side, on the other hand, what are the benefits that you really see kind of operating remotely and, hiring talent all across the globe?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ranmay. So as you noted, we are 100% remote. We were born remote, we grew remote, and we operate remote to this day. There's definitely some benefits from being born remote because what that allowed is for us to set up the structures remotely from the get-go rather than having to start with brick and mortar and then figure out a way to add in a remote structure. So that definitely helped. But as you noted, there can be challenges with it as well. A lot of the challenges focus mainly around things like communication, and then also working in silos, right? So being able to have a full team come together and properly communicate to each other, still be able to work with each other and collaborate with each other. Things like meetings, things just like cross department interactions, and breaking down those silos is the main things that we've been focusing on as a remote company. One of the things that we actually introduced, over the last, I would say about a couple years now is a actual remote office, like a virtual office, which to be honest has changed the game for us. That has been something that has allowed us to have those relationships with each other, see each other in the office, understand who's meeting with who and what times and what areas on what projects. It really simulates the ability to have like a real office feel while staying remote. And that really, really has been a big game changer for us.
Absolutely. And, starting your own agency is a difficult call to make, right? But once you get into it, right, you wear multiple hats as one of the founding team members. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, you're selling, you're delivering, you take care of projects, you do client facing roles, you're at the back end of it, support functions like, HR, accounting, understanding finance, hiring team, recruitment, right? So you do all of it. Yeah. So, and on top of that, getting the clients in, the first few clients, your first few clients are always special, kind of delivering it again is a challenge, right? The whatever commitment that you make. So how was it like, when you started and to keep the lights on? What was the experience all about?
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey. There's no question about that. Like
Yeah.
you noted, right? Starting a business or in an agency in general, it's never a small feat and it's not for everybody. There's a reason why, a lot of businesses fail within the first few years. For us, what we feel like made a big difference for us was first and foremost establishing a proper, why we exist, right? The business vision, goals, mission, that kind of stuff. Understanding why we exist, understanding, why we as a company or we as people get out of bed in the morning and why anybody should care. That was a really big part of our journey. Why are we here? From there, figuring out how that can grow into a proper company culture. Yeah, understanding that, bringing the right people in the right moments, we grew very organically. So we didn't take on more expenses than we needed to. And we made sure that we can grow organically, bringing the right people in at the right times. The right people in the right places really impacted our ability to grow. It really impacted our ability to attract clients and retain clients. One of the things that we're really proud about here in Beanstalk is the fact that our turnover rate with clients are very, very low. We still have clients to this day that joined us when we first started, when we were a baby
Wow.
agency. Yeah, and it's something that we're very, very proud of. So that retention rate is quite high for us. But again, it goes back to that company culture, right? Bringing in the right people, right time. We tell all of our new employees, or not necessarily new employees, but when we're interviewing them, we tell them that, it doesn't matter if you're the best web developer in the world or the best ad manager in the world or whatever position they're applying for. If you don't fit into our company culture, if you don't fit into our ecosystem of growth and mindset and why and value and vision, et cetera, then you're just not going to be a right fit for our team because we have big goals, right? We have big vision here at Beanstalk. And when we grow into this international big company that we want to be a place that people brag about working for. People want to work with us. And we believe being employee centric truly does cascade down to our projects and our clients that we work on. Um, you know, Having people happy to work on our projects are going to be happy to work with our clients,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Have you ever fired a client for whatever reason?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you
Absolutely.
ever?
Yes, we definitely, yeah, we're
Mm.
very protective of our resource and we're very protective of our team. And we want to make sure that we're working with the right people as well, not just our employees and our team members, but also our clients.
And have you ever said no to a new client? And what could be the reason?
Yeah, absolutely. We have established what we like to call our list of yellow and red flags when we are looking at new projects. We like to look at, it's more than just the monetary value that a client or, we don't actually even call them clients, we call them partners. But it's more than just how much money that partner can bring to the agency, right? It's not just about our revenue. It's about ensuring that we are able to manage proper expectations, manage proper processes, manage proper pacing. The demand of the client on our team has to be appropriate for our team as well. Even just the collaboration nature of the project itself, right? Projects are more successful when we have proper collaboration.
Yeah.
And we don't want to take on a project that is just not going to be successful because of lack of ability to collaborate or unrealistic expectations, etc.
Absolutely. And, talk us through your framework for building a high converting full funnel system, and in what stages of it are you kind of most obsessed about and why?
Yeah, funnels are something that we're very passionate about here at Beanstalk
Mhm.
because funnels, realistically, we're talking about the full phase or the full journey of a potential customer through, the discovery of the service or product or the need or want of it, through the nurturing, through the customer engagement, et cetera, all the way to conversion. So for us, you have to start with the top of funnel. Obviously, that's the engagement. That's that cold traffic. That's the people who may be looking or don't even realize they need or want this in the first place. And then, so we attract those customers through different processes, through advertising, social media, even, organic traffic. Once they come into the funnel, it's about engaging them. It's about nurturing them. It's about providing value to them. It's about not necessarily selling right away all the time, right? It's about being able to keep them engaged throughout an entire lifeline, and then at some point be able to get them to convert into an actual customer conversion, and then continue to retain and advocate to these consumers over time as well. Because a customer's journey with a product or a brand isn't just a one-time buy always, right? It can be a lifetime relationship between a customer and brand and its services.
Yeah.
If I was to say one thing about our funnels, is I would say that we are most obsessed with the middle of the funnel. That's the part of the funnel that we pay a lot of attention to, that we truly like to understand the psychology of the consumers, understand the buying habits of the consumers, understand what really they need to see, hear, feel, be told, et cetera, in order to convert from that cold to warm to conversion.
And these days, we are hearing about a lot of AI in SEO and digital marketing, right? So what is your general take on AI kind of running the show quite literally these days, and a lot of AI tools kind of mushrooming the market? Yeah. So what is your general take on AI?
Yeah, what a hot topic in today's day and age. Such an interesting transition that the industry, not even just the industry, what an interesting transition that the world has taken on over the past few years with AI. Everything, as we know, is different now with AI available, and it's impacting everything from jobs to our industry to everyone's industry. But if we're talking about AI, AI and the use within what we do in today's day and age, the first thing I would say is, when AI first came out, it was that buzz thing, right? That trendy thing, that cool new thing or whatever. And we saw agencies and people and thought leaders and et cetera, talk about how AI is going to do everything, and AI is a new marketing agency, and AI can do everything, and et cetera for you. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure AI is going to get there, and AI eventually will come for everybody and everything. But in this moment where we are with AI right now, AI is not a lead with AI aspect. AI is just another tool in our tool belt. And if we allow AI to do everything and anything for our customers, for our projects, for our tasks, we very clearly see worse results. Things do not get better when AI is in control in this moment with what we do. But however, when AI is integrated with our team and our processes and our toolkit and everything that we do, AI makes everything much more powerful. AI and our team, AI being led by a human, AI being led by a specialist, someone who specializes in what the AI is doing, creates magic and creates efficiency and creates incredible results. So AI definitely is part of everything that we do now. And it creates, like I said, better results, better everything. But it is most definitely being human led. And it is most definitely being led by our strategies, our interactions, our engagements with the AI. So we never let AI run rampant. But where AI and our customers need to be, very aware of, is the way that AI is impacting their services and their businesses as well. For example, something like SEO, for example. SEO up until AI was driven by Google and rankings and et cetera. SEO in the post AI world is very different. It's very much so less about ranks on Google, and it's more about figuring out how your products and services are going to be showing up in these LLMs, right? These AIs, these ChatGPTs, these Google Geminis. Those are what's dominating right now. And what's interesting is seeing the statistics about how quickly those things are changing, right? I think I saw a stat just the other day. It's almost at 70% of all searches result in zero-click searches. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that people are, they're using tools to find products and services just like they did before, But instead of actually going to a customer's website to, find the product and service on the customer's website, they're getting everything that they need in order to make a decision directly from their search console, whether that be ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, et cetera, et cetera. So what does that mean for businesses? Hey, what does that mean? It's saying, 70% of your website traffic is just being wiped out overnight.
Yeah,
How does that
absolutely.
impact your business?
What is your favorite AI tool these days?
Man, our AI toolkit is ever growing. It's insane. Every day there's a new AI platform. And it's good, and it's interesting to see how that's going to roll out over time, because there cannot be an infinite number of AI platforms that we have to figure out, right? My
Sure.
prediction is over time that these AI platforms will start consolidating, and eventually you'll have one AI that can do everything. But in the moment, we have AIs for every different reason, AI platforms for every different reason, right? We have writing AIs, we have video production AIs, we have design AIs, we have website design, website construction AIs. There's so many different AIs for different reasons, and we use them all, right? It's the same way that you have the right employee in the right position, right? You're not going to have, a designer write copy, because designers specialize in design. So we're not going to have them write copy. We'll put a copywriter specialist in the copywriting position. The same thing with AI. We're not going to have a design AI write copy. We'll have our copy AI write copy, and so on and so on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Jeremy, finally, before we wrap this up, so you have been a successful entrepreneur yourself, right? So, for our young listeners today, or, people who are trying to kind of, break through and create their own setup, own agency, what is that one piece of advice you would want to give to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. What I see amongst younger generation these days is they tend to fall for the get rich quick mindsets.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much content on the internet that makes it seem like something is so easy, right? Like you could be making, $1 million a year by this one simple AI trick, whatever it is, right? There's so much of that content out there. And I think a lot of people are fooled by it. But the truth is that nothing good is ever easy. Doing what we do, doing what business owners do, and doing it successfully takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication and showing up and understanding that there's no magic bullet, right? And I think that the advice I would give anyone starting this position is be prepared for hard work. Be prepared for showing up and working long hours, and really, like you said at the beginning of the conversation, wearing multiple hats and doing multiple things, and understanding that none of this is easy, right? And understanding that, yeah, we have tools and we have things that we can use to make things easier, but it's still difficult. And so be prepared. Be prepared for what it takes to truly, build the freedom that you as an individual might want or gain from running your own business.
Absolutely. Perfect, Jeremy. This has been a great interaction. I'm sure the audience would love the insights you shared today. But yeah, thank you so much for taking out time to do this with us. Really appreciate it, man.
No worries, Ranmay. Thanks for having me. Awesome. Take care.